This is Jonathan over with a Yorgos screencast using the Visual Composer plugin. There's a couple different ways that you can go about using the plugin, and I'm going to show you two of those. So let's just say right now I'm logged in, so I get my editor bar here, and I want to go over to the breakfast page. So when I go to the page, you can see it's obviously disoriented because we don't have any content here. But I want to start editing. And so there's an inline visual composer editor that you can do right in the browser. And then there's also the edit page method. So for this instance, I'm going to go ahead and do edit with Visual Composer. I'm going to click on that. This page will refresh and it'll change slightly because there will be tools available now using Visual Composer that were not available before when you were just visiting the site and logged in. So as that page loads, it does take a little bit of time because Visual Composer has a lot to it, but once you're there, you can kind of look through here a couple different places. So we're just going to hit finished on that. So we're actually editing the page itself, not any of the sidebar type stuff that's here, but we're going to go ahead and add an element. And let's just say, for instance, I want to add a row. And within that row, I want to have a block of text. So I can go in and I can edit this block of text. So let's just say, for instance, off of the Yorgos page, we want to go to menu. Breakfast menu, and let's just say we want to copy all of this. Okay, so we're just going to paste in this page, paste in everything. Now obviously that's just pasting right from the current site, so there might be some style in there that we'll have to check out. So we're going to hit save. And when we close that, it's going to push everything there because I haven't changed any of the page width stuff, and right now this is set up to go full width. So I can change some of the column settings. I do have a class, I believe it's 17, I think. If that's not it. That might not be it. Okay, let me pause real quick and figure that one out. Okay, so when I'm in that column editor, I'm going to give this a class 1200. Now I noticed with these settings right now, there's something that we can't do in this view. And so what I need to do is hit update and update this page. And then once that's done updating, we're going to want to go to the backend editor. And so we're going to update. Okay, settings have been saved. All right, so we're going to go to the backend editor. And maybe this is just the best way to do this because this has a little bit more control. The only thing is you don't get to see what it looks like right in the browser. So I'm going to go ahead and I hit backend editor. And this will then refresh to show us what we've been working on. So it looks like I had a separate column there, so I'm just going to delete that. So here's all of that in one big text block. The other thing we wanted to do here is change our page layout to full width. And let's go ahead and update that. And then going here, we're just going to look at a live preview. So we can minimize that, and we'll leave that. All right. All right. It's still saving. All right. So the 1200 gets you a full width, 1200 pixels max on the width. So this is where, if we have photos and everything, this is where maybe breaking up this text block to each section. So like here's a coffee and espresso bar. So maybe what we want to do is we can add a custom heading, and we're just going to go ahead and choose coffee and espresso bar as our text. We don't need any links. I would scroll down here and use the default font family. We don't really need to mess with any of this stuff because I have some of that set. And then in our text block here, you can go ahead and delete that because we're using our custom heading over here. Go ahead and hit save. Now, again, we want to kind of spread these out a little bit. So, you know, again, we don't have photos for everything right now, but we just want to make this, for instance, our coffee block. Okay, and then we'll add a new row, and within that row we can add a custom heading. And now I have to do this, and I would have to click this again. So instead of doing that, what you can do is, if you want to style the one and make sure it's working properly, so let's just do a preview change on that. Again, I scrolled up to preview changes because we took out the big text block and then we just put that custom heading in there. And this will now show, okay, coffee and espresso bar is there. I do need to style this, but at least we can work from that. You know, if you want it to have this be, you know, columned, you could click here and do columns, and then you can put an image over there or something like that. But for right now, we'll just leave it like that. So what I was saying is you could duplicate this, drag this down here, and that's going to go ahead and be an omelet menu, I believe is what was next, or omelets, and so that maintains the look that I had on the previous one. And then we're going to go ahead and add this text block, and I'll paste in all the text again, but we just want the omelets. So there's the omelet starts there. Go ahead and get rid of all that. Oop. Okay, so those are all the omelets. We can get rid of the headline there. Oop. So sometimes when you delete text, it will revert to, not sure why that's there. Okay, so some of these have descriptions underneath of them. Maybe we can get descriptions for all of them. Hit save, so that's all of your omelets. And again, you might want to minimize this to being 2 columns. We can, you know, surely work on that. Do another text block. And this is going to go ahead and this will be the griddle specials. Not sure what those little dashes are, but we can get rid of those. So griddle specials. And we didn't duplicate our headline, so we'll duplicate that. Click and drag that in here. Edit that. Right, griddle specials. Griddle special. Right. Save that. Duplicate that. Oh, I did not add another row, so we need to do that first. All right, there we go. So I'm going to leave you with the rest of them to do. let's say we wanted to add a photo. I know we have a picture of the omelet there, so let's go ahead and hit plus, and we're going to go ahead and add a single image, and this is where we can do a little bit of testing. So let's go ahead and find that. Oh, you know what? I guess I don't have that picture uploaded, so let's go ahead and add a picture of the omelet. Okay, so that was in Google Drive. Should have a Yorgos folder. Okay. I do not. Oh, Jonathan was a folder. Yorgos. Oh. Okay. Did I move them all over? Let's go back here. Those are the individual images. Alright, give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm not finding an omelet picture, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and hit plus, and I know in my media library I have a couple full screen images that I can use for this example. So I thought I had a full screen omelet that was usable. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on this state picture, and I'm going to go ahead and set that image. And once that loads in, I'll get some options here. I don't want it to be thumbnail, I want it to be full size so that it goes left to right, full width. I could do centered, this way as the screen goes smaller it is still kept in the center. And we don't need to do that or that or that. Okay. Go ahead and hit save. And the only other stuff I wanted to double check while I'm in here, not that page, is in our dashboard. Pages. I believe on page 3 was the home page. Sorry, I just want to double check page settings. Okay, so over here on the side you'll see our page is full width, content editor is blank, and then high-end settings, hide pre-footer. Alright, so let's do that, hide settings, hide footer, and use high-end option. Alright, update. We're going to go to the breakfast page. And so here we now have our coffee listings, our full width picture, and I noticed that because I brought in those columns, I did not copy my class. So that's my fault here. So the to be 1200. Okay. And we're going to put that on each of our rows. That way the max width is always going to be 1200. And that's a class, not an ID. That's the last one. I just want to double check here as well. That's what I thought. the row is out here, not the column. So go ahead and hit update. And when you wait till that to spin clockwise, you can refresh the page. And now everything's indented. We have our big image if we want to use it. Again, these are all one column. But this is where, again, we have to figure out what kind of layout we want here. I'll work on stylizing this header and the breadcrumbs that are here. But that's, for right now, that should get you started at least on the menu page. We can work on the other stuff tomorrow. Thanks.